If you're here for someone to reaffirm that Gladiator was this genre-defining film and its sequel is everything you hoped it would be and much more, then you're watching the wrong video. I liked the original Gladiator, but I was never blown away by it, and I will never understand why it won as many accolades as it did. It's almost as if the award ceremonies viewed the original film as the next coming of Lawrence Arabia and just gave it awards I felt it never deserved. If you want my opinion, I think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon should have been the most celebrated film in 2000, but I digress. Now with the sequel, also directed by Ridley Scott, you have a film that is trying to be The Godfather Part 2 of sequels for Gladiator. I have to peel back the curtain a little and inform you that I didn't watch a single trailer for this movie, so I had no idea how they were going to pull off a sequel to a film that had pretty much a final ending. If you haven't watched the trailers either, then I will say that this new film does explain its existence with some clever trickery, but when it's all said and done, I feel this is a movie that I don't know why it exists. It's not a bad film. In fact, I might say that it is on par with the original, but it's not the glorious epic that it thinks it is. Gladiator 2 follows Hanno, played by Paul Mescal. After his city of Numidia falls at the hands of a Roman general played by Pedro Pascal, he is imprisoned by the Roman army and forced to fight in the gladiator pits until his extreme talent for fighting is noticed by an arms dealer played by Denzel Washington. This character named Macrinus becomes a pseudo-mentor for Hanno as he rises in the ranks of the gladiators while two twins rule the kingdom of Rome with an iron fist. This is the most basic plot synopsis provided. I'm about to go into information that is provided in the trailer, so tread lightly for the rest of the video if you don't want to know anything at all. This movie has some serious logic leaps it requires you to take because Hanno is the son of Maximus, the character Russell Crowe played in the first film, and he just happens to land in the same Colosseum that his father did. We're actually not informed of this reality until about an hour into the movie, and since I didn't watch any of the trailers prior to seeing this film, this reveal made me roll my eyes because of how convenient all of this falls into place. I probably would have figured it out had I remembered that Lucilla was a character at all in the original Gladiator. I always view the original Gladiator as a bleak movie with some great fight scenes, so I apologize that I didn't remember every last detail about that film. Once you accept the reality that Hanno is the rightful heir to the throne of Rome, then you start to understand all the political backstabbing that is taking place. The twin emperors in this movie were intolerable for me. Every time they got more radical and crazy, I just thought they were shells of the Joaquin Phoenix character from the first film, and it caused the film to drown down the revenge plot that our main character is going for. The man he wants dead is the Pedro Pascal character, but things aren't what they seem with him. For that matter, things aren't what they seem with a few of the characters, and it winds up becoming a movie where you're just waiting for the double crosses. The biggest problem I have with this movie is that there just aren't any surprises. If you just want a fun popcorn action film, this will satiate that taste. But if you think about the politics around it and the conveniences taking place, you may end up scratching your head as I did. The fight sequences in the Colosseum are entertaining, but the CGI pulled me out of them. There's one very early in the movie where he is fighting a monkey, and the monkey just looks so unrealistic I could not buy into that fantasy. There's one involving boats and the Colosseum being filled up with water, and sharks swimming around, and it just came off as a big cartoon because that is a ton of effort and manpower to set up the arena like this. It's fun on a visual level, but it doesn't have any weight to the story, and it just comes off as a set piece that is there only to have a set piece there. The set design is very magnificent. The music is very good, but it sounds very similar to the original, and I just listened to the soundtrack to the original on my drive home, so it's still fresh in my head. Ridley Scott is a wonderful director, but I think this movie is in a hurry to tell its story. It's very frantic and doesn't give many of his characters time to breathe and be established, except for the character played by Denzel Washington, who is, without question, the best person in this movie. He should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor because holy crap, he keeps this film from floating into full ridiculous. This might be his best performance since Training Day. He saved this film for me. Every time there is a reveal or a story beat occurs, it's like the film wants us to just accept what happened and then go on to the next thing. It doesn't trust its script enough to take its time. Either that or the film was originally going to be 3 hours long and it got cut by 30 minutes. I don't know what the truth is, but the film just seems like it's in a hurry. I can't say this film disappointed me because I went in with muted expectations. I could never say that I think this is a bad movie because it isn't. It's so entertaining on just a basic lizard brain level, but the way the film expects us to just accept some insane conveniences just made me incredibly frustrated. I do think this film is worth a watch, but I just think this film is going for an epic scope and it comes off as something that doesn't want you to think. I go to Fast and Furious movies to turn my brain off. When I watch a would-be epic about the Roman Empire, I want to be absorbed with the politics and characters, not just rushed off to the next thing without dwelling. It just seems like it's going place to place and not expecting you to stop and think about any of it. Gladiator 2 is a fine movie with one brilliant performance, but just like the original one, I probably won't think about it much in the years ahead. I gave Gladiator 2 2.5 stars out of 4. I'm sure anyone who watches this video will enjoy this movie, and I did too on some level, but it becomes less than the sum of its parts once you start to think about all the hoops it jumps through to justify its own existence. Okay, so Gladiator 2, have you seen it? What do you think of it? What's your favorite Ridley Scott film? Please let me know in the comments section below. I was going to review Anora, but I figured that since there are so many reviews of that movie on this platform already, I want to instead do an explained video on it, as well as an explained video on Strange Darling, so look forward to those soon. Thank you so much for watching. Here's links to some of my other reviews. Follow me on social media if you like, and until next time, I am Ghost.